Hello, everybody. Welcome to Noel Podcast.
Hi everybody, welcome to our second episode. We had a big storm yesterday, and we had a really
Yeah,
really
it
big
was
storm. It
crazy.
was crazy because I saw a video clip from Hamburg that it was like the wind speed was 156 kilometer per hour, which is really heavy. And
hmm
I wonder how's Berlin over there.
I thought in the beginning it was pretty mild, and yesterday was really, really bad because I stayed at home and looked and sounds very, very dangerous.
Yeah, it was.
Like before yeah, it really was. And before I fell asleep, like outside was, yeah, like I could really hear the sound from the outside, like shaking and yeah, it was not
How
so
long do
good.
you have stormy weather? Because here it was since I don't know, last Thursday it
Yeah,
started,
yeah.
and today is like completely over. I guess, I hope.
Actually, yeah, like more or less same here. I think it has started since last weekend, especially Monday or something. Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, I think it has started from Monday, I remember.
Oh, that's pretty long though. Then
Mm.
I guess it affect on your New Year's resolution.
Oh my God, that's so true. That's so true. Like, because you don't want to go for a running when it's stormy, right?
Yep, I bet. So from the last episode, we were talking about like New Year's resolution, and like we had some. I wouldn't say it's an excuse, but it's
Mm,
kind of excuse that like we will start our New Year's resolution by February because it's
yeah.
the New Year of like most of Asian country. I would like to say. And how's your New Year resolution go so far?
Like I went for a running once, like which was the
Mm-hmm.
first time in this year. So like that was pretty good start if I count from Lunar New Year's. And then yeah, you can imagine the storm came and it was like full over this week, and also
Mm-hmm.
included today. Like yeah, like I didn't wanna blown away from this wind,
Mm-hmm.
so I needed to postpone to
I
next week.
understand.
Yeah, like hopefully I think that, next week the weather is gonna be better, but let's see. Let's see.
I think as long as we are living in Germany, if we our plan are depending on the weather, then like I guess we can't really, it.
Um,
I don't really expect the plan will go flawlessly. To be
mm,
honest, it just like my plans to be, yeah, plans, because also like, yeah. To be honest, I couldn't really start my New Year's
mm,
resolution, and
yeah.
I'm considering to change this to another one because like from my company, I these days is like crazily like so busy. Everything is so busy. Also like, I'm planning to go to Athens next week, so it was pretty
Oh
hard to.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have like enough capacity to do. So I decided to start something new,
Mm.
which is having yoga every day, at least like 10
Oh,
minutes.
wait, like yoga. I was
Yeah.
thinking about that too.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's
yeah.
pretty good. I mean, of course, it's pretty good because everybody knows yoga is pretty good for like
Mm,
stretching, and especially we kind of people like who sit almost 8 hours per day, almost every day, and like then your neck and shoulder gets stiff, and you always have some pain, and like
yeah,
also stress causes some pain too on your back,
for sure,
and
for sure.
for this reason, I started to do yoga and I bought a yoga mat.
I
That's
like
the starting point.
no, like actually I have tried yoga last year like sometimes. It was very, very nice, and also
Hmm.
it affect me to have better mood and etc. The one thing was it was more difficult than I thought. So like
Yeah.
yeah, basically I just follow some YouTuber who was like,
Yeah,
doing the
that's what I'm
yoga.
doing.
Wasn't really short, even was around 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and you just
Hmm.
need to follow. And yeah, that was very, very painful basically.
I mean, it's supposed to be, I guess. It's supposed to be. That means our muscles are horrible, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I hope you could start as soon as when you get back from vacation next
I'm
week.
doing every day. I'm
Oh,
doing every
really?
day.
Already?
Yeah, I started. Yeah, I started from last week because I felt like such a huge pain on my back, and it's a compensation. Like maybe it's like work. It's good for work-life balance too. As we are going to talk about this career and job today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's also the related topic, I would say. You know.
It really is. And yeah, because I also found out like this every day, even 10 or 15 minutes doing something regularly
Yeah,
is also not so easy.
stretching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as our topic is career and job, and I would like to start with a like common question to you. So let's say you met a person that you don't know for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Then how would you introduce yourself?
Um, yeah, like I'll definitely start with my name and also what I'm doing for a living and where I'm come from. I think these three answers are basically what I always talk about because we are living in another country which is not our home country. So also where I'm come from is really, really typical question that people might wonder. But yeah, also yeah, a lot of times people tend to ask me, what do you do? And
Exactly.
yeah.
I think it's like one of the first question after, yeah, hi, how are you? Like, yeah, I'm Han, I'm Gino, like, da da da. Then, oh yeah, what do you do? This is a very common question, and I think for the like how to introduce yourself is how to introduce your identity to other people. You know, so I guess your occupation is one of the identity. That's why we like tend to ask to people, like to new people, yeah, what do you do? Because then you can kind of getting to know these people. Yeah.
But like, okay, like first of all, you mentioned about identity. But like for you, what is identity? Because it definitely have some definition from dictionary, right? And you can also think that identity is just yourself or something that can describe about you. Like, yeah, what do you think? Why people tend to mention about their job, and why people think this is your identity that they would like to know?
Yeah, like your question is why would I say like my job is one of the identity, or like how do I okay. I think yeah, it's a good question. Actually, I really didn't think about why people tend to say their job as an identity. I haven't really thought about that, but if we think about the like job hunting process, or like when you like, you know, when you were a kid, what do you want to be in the future?
Yeah.
Then it's not a random question, and like the answer should have some rationale. And of course some like random kids, oh yeah, I want to be a president. But it's also like it describes their character too. Like if somebody wants to be outstanding, or if somebody wants to be a leader, then they said, oh yeah, I want to be a president, although they don't have any kind of clue what occupation is. So I think like it's not 100%, it's not for everybody, but like what kind of your job you have is also like kind of describe what you have interest, what kind of interest you have, and basically like that. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I my voice. I really agree, and actually, you really makes me think about when we are in school, and if you remember, in the student record, they always have these small sections that you need to write about your future dreams as your student, as student. And if I'm thinking about now, I think what do you want to be, and what kind of like economic activity you're doing for living. That also makes your environment in general and also the people you are socializing together, especially when you're getting older and older. So I think maybe it could also define your character, as you said. And
Yeah, also like not only identity, but you can also find a common topic and like by introducing yourself. Like for example, like I'm an engineer, I'm working for the pharmaceutical industry, and I say, yeah, I'm an engineer, I'm developing medical devices in the pharmaceutical industry. Then people will ask about like, oh yeah, like what kind of, I don't know what kind of device are you doing, and then you can have like a further conversations.
yeah, yeah.
Then it's like a good icebreaker too.
It really is. It really is. And I started working in the new company recently, and also like the funny question.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. And also the interesting question from another colleagues to everyone was, what was your future dreams when you were a kid? Yeah, like it was not about where you're from and etc., but it was the question about your future dream when you were a kid. And for example, for me, it was police officer, and also I had a future dream as pianist for a really longer time.
When you were a kid?
Yeah. So, okay, of course, now I'm working as a designer, but like some time has definitely changed and depends on what kind of environment you had in this time. Your future dream or the dream job could definitely change, which I didn't really think about it often. So for me, that was definitely an interesting question. And
that's true.
Yeah, so I think this identity, not everything is about work and job, but
of
probably
course not. Yeah, of course not.
Probably
but it's
big
one
part
of
of
yes. I think it's one of the big part. It plays really big role in identity. In terms of identity. But yeah, as we are saying, yeah, job or occupation is like one of the identity. But if I think about past and now, it's pretty different, because like I remember that like when I see like for example Korean news desk, that like the interviewees are always have the name and age and their occupations.
Oh yes.
Like for example Han 28 engineer, something like that. It is just described on the screen. But these days I don't really see the job in these like descriptions in the interview scene, so that represent like our traditional job, and like a job in nowadays has been changed, because like I don't know, when I think about like my earlier days in childhood, like in elementary school, the definition of job is something different than now. Like for example, we have new type of job a lot, like influencers, which we didn't have before. And I think
that's
also
true.
because of that the point of view of the career has been different too.
Yeah, I actually there's it. Sorry, that is very very interesting thing you mentioned about influencers that we never had when you were a kid, right? And like if I'm thinking about these days, also the job title, the definition of job title also has changed so many times. Like when I was in university, if you say product designer, that literally means industrial product designers, like who build like the product you can really touch and see. But like nowadays, nowadays it has two different meaning, that it can be product designer, and right now we have so many digital product, so they're also product designer, and also like different kind of job, like new job, which never exist in the past.
Mm-hmm.
like cybersecurity specialist. Maybe
Yep.
they were existed, but nowadays they have more responsibility than when we were younger. So yeah, like this job changing is also very very important things that um,
Yeah.
yeah.
This phenomenon is like pretty interesting is because like for example like the traditional jobs like engineers or designers like
Mm,
I'm saying like kind of old job,
yeah.
we have this kind of common career path, for
Yeah.
example. So like you start from junior and
Mm,
you have to build your career and you have to work on your career, like especially you have to go for research, I don't know, like, but there's some kind of common ways to build your career. But for example like these kind of new jobs, influencer, and like the thing is life the life of influencer is not longer than traditional job. I would like to say,
it really is.
like I can, yes, I you can work as designer for 20 years. I can work as designer for 20 years to engineer,
Mm,
but I don't think influencer is it is common for influencers, for example, to work as an influencer for 20 years. So
mm,
I'm pretty sure that like building career is also um different too in this topic.
yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know, like when I think of my childhood, career and job means that like what you have to work for rest of your life, like
I
one
remember.
of yeah, one of third of your life is your job,
Mm,
but and also job is kind of respectful because
mm,
you are contributing to the society by paying tax, for example.
yeah.
But these days it has been really much changes because like you can earn money without having a job.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me of the one article I was reading, like this researching process from our topic, like basically, and
Mm-hmm.
so the article mentioned about how many job in general, like recently people had in the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Average job is 4 or 5 different jobs that people
Mm-hmm.
might have. So that also means you might have 2 or 3 different jobs after your engineer job, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe in parallel. And for me, that was so surprising because, like, of course, when we were younger and when we were in student, we thought that okay, if I study this, then we are gonna do
Yeah,
this in our rest of my life.
exactly.
But that is not true anymore. And also, we are doing this podcast thingy for our side project. I mean, I don't define myself as a podcaster, but that can be also the one part of our
Yeah.
different job. So I think there's so many different methods that we can find our different talent and
Mm-hmm.
different skills, and every information is pretty accessible that even though we didn't study in university, like we have
Yeah.
YouTube and so many different materials. Um, like new job, which was very interesting for me, was also online tutor and like
Mm-hmm.
e-learning technician. Like if you see this, it also means that there is so many people try to learn something from online. Like
And something new.
exactly.
Actually, that's a really interesting point, and it's good to mention. Like it's really good to mention now because yeah, like if I like one thing is like before in the traditional jobs, for example, like we always have like tend to have one job only, but these
Yeah.
days like I can see many people has more than one job, and
Mm.
this means also like this online tutoring and online courses and so or like that means the job entry job entry qualification has
Yeah.
been lowered, meaning like
Yeah.
it's like multifunctional role is required, and like yeah, it's you can explain this in several ways, but what I'm saying about low job entry is, for example, like as a CAD designer.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, if I wanted to be a designer, then I needed to, like, I don't know, draw drawings on the paper, and I needed to know every single detail to build one design. But
Yeah.
these days, thanks to the computerized programs, I can just do it. Like, I mean, people who doesn't have the degree, they can even build everything. Not like before. They can even build a CAD model because it has been easier and simpler thanks to the like new softwares, you know. And I think it's the same to you too, like in designer as a designer.
For sure. I think entry for building website, for example, for your own business, if you're just doing freelancer and self-employed, it's definitely easier to create your own website because there are so many different platforms that you can just use, which is already built as a template.
Yeah, so many resources too.
Yeah,
like
and
learning material too, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And like one time I also searched myself in the Google. There was kind of the website that you can type your job and if this job is gonna be replaced by AI in the future or not, like, how much percentage you're in danger or something like that, like because everyone is kind of have this feelings that okay like and in the
Sounds
future,
like Terminator.
yeah, in the future my job is gonna be replaced, and I think also that is the one of the reason why many people try to study another things than what they studied in the past, because they want to be I don't know, like they want to have long lasting job as well. But oh yes, like I have a question, like do you have some friends around you who have 2 or 3 jobs at the same time?
Yeah, I would say yes. I would say I know few people who has like a one main job and one side job, and I also know some people who has multiple job, and I also know some people who are freelancer and who is doing their business but not only one sectors. So it's pretty various, and it's funny that you mentioned about like AI is like I said replaceable or not. To be honest, my background is like robotics, like in medical robotics, and like we always made fun of this kind of phenomena. Oh yeah, like thanks God I'm a robotics engineer. So like when once all the AI conquer the world like Terminator, I would be spared, because I can do something for AI at least.
Yeah.
So they will spare me. So it's just like it's a joke.
Like honestly, even though you're saying as a joke, I think like robotics and this engineering field is definitely not really replaceable than other job like these days still. So I think you should be more relieved about it, no?
It's like that's why I chose my job as a robotics. I really enjoyed the movie Terminator as a kid. So once AI attack us, I will be survivor. I will be the survivor. So anyway, actually I have a question to you about this like new job phenomenon.
Yeah.
Would you like to work as a designer for the rest of your life?
Yes or no? I would definitely create something else, not as a designer, but I don't think I'm just gonna quit designer job, because I like to design something and I like creating something. But what I thought was like even though I do similar things like creation or visualizing something, I think at some point maybe this job title might change as well, because we don't know exactly how people would define design in the same way for the future as well, because there are so many new words like to say like what can be the good examples?
Then
Okay.
do you want to? Would you like to change your sector, like your field, like because you are talking
Oh.
about the title of the job,
Mm.
you know?
Oh, actually, I'm not. I'm not. I still want to be in this creative field. That is something I really know. Like of course it can change because I also have different kind of interest, like design and also drawing and also making photos and stuff. So I would definitely try out different things in parallel, but I don't see myself. I want to be outside of this field yet, but we never know. We never know.
Yeah, you never say never, you know. But
Oh,
what is the passionate point about your job? Why do you? I mean, like your field, because you said you don't want to change the field and you want to stick with your field as possible because you really enjoy working in this field.
yeah, like so the main thing I really love and like about what I'm doing is everyone has this idea, right? Like idea is not visible, and I think designers, not only designers but all people who is working in this field, and like it can be architecture and it can be also musicians, they visualizing something, so they're kind of in between in this bridge from this idea and how to make this visible. Like if that does make sense, like I'm not just talking about designer,
Yeah.
but so we are basically delivering something which isn't exist but deliver to audience that you can hear and you can
Like
see.
visualizing,
Yeah,
more or less.
like you can even taste. So I even like would like to include chef to the same
What about
sector.
researcher? Because you like to you said that like creativity is like one of the key in your fields that you like about. And I think I like my job because of this reason too, because like I always in the R&D sector, and like I'm an engineer, but like also I wouldn't say that like engineer because it's more like researcher and developing something.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say develop because it sounds like programmer, you know, but like, I would say developing engineer, you know. And the reason why I like this field or my job is because you can learn a lot of new things and you can create from concept, from idea to visualize the product to the product. And I think that's very fancy thing about that.
That is.
But do you also think that if you like the creativity field, would you like to be a researcher too then? Or you want to stick with designer?
I would definitely say yes because I would definitely say yes because I think the process of this researcher is where you need to analyze what was the past experience from the past product, and you want to build a better product, of course, in the future. And of course, how people see engineer or researcher or designer in a different way. But for me, creativity is not only for something you can see, like something with really, really crazy, colorful visual. Because if you create something that never exists in the world, but which can make our life better, I think that is also include huge creativity. And that's why I don't think what I'm doing is only for creativity field. It can be so many things, but what I know that I don't see myself I will be is something, some jobs that I always need to do every single day, same thing.
Oh yeah, no, Hannah. Like it's like for me, I would feel like a machine. you know.
Mm.
And also it will be replaced by machine, to be honest.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like as you just talk.
Yeah,
But
AI will take the job. But anyway.
yeah, but like also I think that is also the main reason that we could talk so many different topics even though we
Mhm.
work as the same different job because
Yeah.
we have this common
Mentality, I would
yeah
say.
yeah because
Yeah.
we don't
As a
wanna
creator.
of course
Yeah.
we don't wanna stick to the same thing that we are using at this moment but we
Mhm.
yeah just something that makes our life easier
Mhm.
probably.
But yeah, also what I want to highlight is actually I really like to working in this creativity field, but as a researcher or and so on. But also, as I said, I'm working in the pharmaceutical and medical field, and it's very very restricted. And I
Yeah.
sometimes feel like the reason why I chose to be in this field is because I wanted to contribute to the society with my ability, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, so if I like to learn something new, I like to build myself, I like to improve myself, and if I can contribute to the world, then it's even awesome, you know, even better. That's why I chose to be. But also sometimes it's kind of annoying because like it's very very much restricted area, and you cannot, although you have creativity, but you cannot really like evaluate yours, like I wouldn't say evaluate, but like express your creativity into the product.
Exactly.
Because like there are some regulations.
Exactly.
So, but I still like this because it's kind of a lot of challenges and troubleshooting because there are so many conflicts in terms of like the design and requirements, you know, and you have to find the point how to solve this trouble, how to solve these conflicts. And I would say this is also creativity, although you don't make something new, but like find a new way to solve the problem.
I absolutely agree. Like I can definitely say what you're doing is also part of creativity. Like what I see the biggest differences between researcher and the designer might be like okay the ultimate same goal is solving the problem, right? Like just providing the better service to the people who has these needs. But at the same time design or music or these things are very very subjective. Like even though we also need to bring some data up like to create something, however everyone could have different emotion when they see the same design or same visual or listening to the same music. They might have all different opinion about it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think researcher and or building something based on this R&D industry, of course they should have this strict restriction and the rules because this is really like how to say, I think more data should be involved than
it's
my
different.
field.
It's definitely different. Also, like in my field, researcher and like working in like real product is also different. Like R&D engineer and researchers are very different because researcher, like I was working as a researcher too. I like the job too, but because you can do whatever you want to research about, you know, and you can build like you can build. I mean, of course, you need money from the your institute, but like you can start your project. And the thing is, there's not many restrictions because we are not aiming for the business, you know. So you don't have to make the product. So like researcher in my field is more or less proof of concept. Like I want to build this. Like device to do something, then you just like design whatever you want just to prove the concept, just to prove that this one can do something, do what I require for. But like in the product field, you can't do whatever you want. So you have to you have to adjust what is delivered from the concept, like proof of concept, and this in this way we cannot fulfill our restrictions. So you have to find the middle point to solve the problem.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the biggest difference as a researcher and product design.
Yeah,
I would say.
that's true. That's true because like like design is also different to art.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, I wouldn't dig into this topic because this is gonna be really long story. But however, we can't always do with our gut feeling. We always need to look into the data as well and think about something how this is gonna impact to the business. But like artists is definitely different, right? So
Yeah, I think it's the same. Like researcher in my field is artist in your field.
really, oh wow,
Yes, so like as an artist, you can express yourself
that's
what
really
you are
interesting.
desire for. Yeah, but designer, like for example, I don't think you can design whatever you want.
No,
Because you need the confirmation.
It's
You
like
know.
it always need to be connected with the business, and it should affect the business, of course. Yeah, but doesn't mean that the researcher in your field they can also propose something which is not feasible, or they always need to propose something which is feasible, but they can be a little bit more freely way or.
So let's say in this way, for in the business, in the product design, you need to fulfill the business requirement. So which means you have to make some profit, and if your project, what you want to do doesn't make enough money, then you can't start the project. But like in the research field, and if you have like an interesting topic, then you can research about it. And it's very academical, and it's not commercial, because it's not commercial.
Yeah.
The work is not of course there's some commercial research too. Is that is a different topic, like who is sponsored by the company, then you need to be in the restricted area. But what I'm talking about research is like very pure research, like academic research, what I did.
I see.
So yeah, I guess it's similar to you as a designer, and because I guess you want to express your like your ability, or like I don't know, into the design. And what about your career goal? Like, because is it, are you satisfied with your position, or like you want to improve? Of course you want to improve yourself, but like how's the way you are planning now?
Like my ultimate goal, yeah, I think it's like really far future. Maybe not so far, but like first of all, I wanna be like not only designer, but also I wanna be the good tutor. Like,
okay, let me ask this first then. Until when do you want to work as a designer, or like
that is really good question. Like I see myself as long as I still have ability to do it. I can do like
But I guess the
like
retirement
50 or something at least, because I think when you reach to the certain career in your life, like as any kind of job, I think you know more about this field, but also not only for this design, but you can kind of generalize different field which is a bit connected to this. Like for example, if you're architecture, they can also be stage designer, they can also be photographer in your late career, I guess. So I think I would love to definitely expand my career spectrum. However, like 50
as a full time.
Yes. Or is it too long? I don't know. Like I want to retire
I want to retire
earlier.
right now.
I want to retire earlier.
Like today.
But like I honestly I want to work as long as I have capacity and I have ability to do it.
Oh, that's good to hear. It's actually.
What about
I
you?
sound like you're both. Yeah, I'm kind of different. Yeah, I love this field and I love my job and I want to work as long as possible as my job. It's not because I work as in my occupation. It's not because of money, you know.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, like, as we talk about like traditional job and new job, you know, so I think like there will be some like adjustment point, like a middle point that I can fulfill like my free time as a like Han as a Han and Han as an engineer, you know. So my plan is I want to be in the management level. And I don't want to be a consultant for sure, because in our field, if you have like some certain experience, then you will be either management level or principal or consultant. But I'm not sure about that, but I would like to be principal. But on the other hand, I don't want to work as a full-time worker forever. I want to work until I retire in my job. But I don't want to work as a full-time worker. So probably after 40, after building up my career, like enough, like good enough, you know, then I would want to work, like drop down to like 20 hours per week or something like that. And I want to spend my own time on other hand, you know.
Yeah, like actually, I mean, I would definitely not prefer working as a full-time worker like until 50, right? Like it's not like and what I mentioned about tutor as well is not like I would like to teach people, but like I would want to be a good manager. That like I don't know, it doesn't need to be full-time job, and if you don't work as a full-time job, I think you have better flexibility for time management, our first episode. And yeah, like also focus on other thing a little bit more after your young age time, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of to be more like specialist or principal than manager. Yeah. Because like if I see my managers in my company, they are super busy, and I don't think you can do for the part-time job, you know. Like if you work as a part-time worker as a manager, then the company doesn't work. Yeah, right?
Yeah. I mean that's true. But like like actually that career goal topic was very, very interesting. And actually we just talk about this management and the principle or whatever, like this topic. What do you think about your ideal work environment?
That's a good question. Work less, paid high.
Yeah.
Okay. No, he was kidding. He was kidding. I was
Did you feel this 2 seconds of silence?
Work less, paid more.
No. Like okay, I will change my question then. Like okay, what is your ideal